Hi everyone, it's great to give you a little update about what's going on in Brettle land. I had COVID over Christmas, so it wasn't that joyful. We actually ended up having a family Christmas on New Year's Day. But here we are, 12th of January, at the time of recording. This morning, I did my second session on Matt Bird's. Hi, Matt.
Hey, great to be with you, Carl.
Matt Bird's new publishing company. I'm on a publishing course, even though I've published quite a lot of books over the years for different people, and it's brilliant. I cannot tell you how good this is. So I just want to give you a little overview because many people I come across have ideas about books, and what tends to happen is people write it themselves. They go through a publisher, they self-publish then, and they end up with hundreds and hundreds of books in the garage that never ever sell. And there's no coaching about the process, which is astonishing, really. But when I heard you were doing this and we'd been in contact, I thought, you know what, I'm going to sign up to this because if for no other reason, I want to improve my writing, I want to improve my skills. Let me ask you some questions, Matt, to tease out of you the process and why other people who are watching this should be involved. What is Publish You and how did you come about the idea?
Well, you know, Carl, my story goes back to school where I was in remedial English classes. I was told I couldn't do computer studies because my grasp of the English language wasn't good enough. And I left school believing I was stupid because that's what my teachers told me. So I'm the perfect example of a global author and coach who coaches over 100 people a year to also become global authors. You could see it from very early on in my education, I think.
But having said that, you showed us this morning a whole big stack of books that you've published.
Yeah,
Have you got it there? Oh, there we go.
yeah.
Yeah, look at that. I mean,
Yeah, I've authored and published 20 books of my own, and now my company is publishing 2 to 4 books a month for other people.
well, that just goes to show, don't let your past determine your future, doesn't it?
Totally, totally. So, so
Yeah.
it all began because over the years, because I've published 20 books, authored and published 20 books, people came to me to ask for help and say, I've got a book in me, or I've started a book, I've got stuck. I want to do a book, I don't know where to start. All those kind of comments, and I always want to help people. It's my heart, and I thought there are so many people asking for my help. Why don't I make life easier for myself? I mean, come on, Carl. Sometimes you just want life to be a little bit simpler, don't you?
Yeah.
So I thought, why, instead of helping people one-to-one, why don't I put them in groups? And why don't I run a little course? So every time somebody asks me for help, I say, yeah, I can help you. I've got a course starting next week or in 2 weeks' time, and they can join that. And so, yeah, that's where it all began. And so I'd coach people online over 100 days to write their books.
Yeah.
And it's only 8 sessions of an hour and a quarter, 8 sessions of an hour and a quarter online over 100 days. And 8 out of 10 people finish the course with a manuscript for their book.
And
It's,
what I
it's
love,
quite incredible.
yeah, what I love about the cohort I'm part of, I think, is it cohort 14 or something like that? There's somebody from France, there's somebody from 2 people from South Africa, there's somebody from Tokyo, Japan, obviously me from Wales, and others far and wide in between. There's about 11 or 12 of us, and already there's a sense of accountability just by being involved in that group. We've
Yes.
determined the times we're going to write, and we meet each Thursday at 8 a.m. Obviously, that's not the time in Tokyo, but the
No,
point is,
or France, or South Africa.
yeah. But the point is, it's great to meet new people. It's a shared experience because they are going through the same wobbles and challenges that everybody else is going through. Even me who's writing this morning, it really made me think. and then I rejigged what I was writing anyway. So I wanted to do this little interview to basically suggest to people who may be watching that they might want to get involved. And I'm going to say, before we give the full details, if for no other reason, go to publishyou.com, scroll down, and on the home page, let me just get back to it. There's a little bar there in black saying, get your free copy of my book idea. That's probably the first stage. Click on that, you'll get a little overview, and that starts you on your thinking journey about it. But don't think for too long, because I know probably over 100 people at this stage in life where I want to write a book. Can you give me some advice about writing a book? And I've given advice over the years, and most of those people have, not gone a particularly sensible way, and have ended up with tons and tons of stock, cost on a credit card for the book printing, and they're not able to sell them. So, what you're doing, I think particularly, and I'm going to ask you about this, with the course and then the offer of publishing it digitally, and I'd love to know what your explanation of that is. What is that what you saw needed to be different about the process of publishing? How did you arrive at all of that?
Carl, I don't want to disappoint you, but I've made it up as I've gone along.
Okay.
I literally wanted to make life easier for myself, and thought, why don't I coach people in groups rather than one-to-one, and charge them a little bit for the privilege. And I ran my first course, and I thought, gosh, I should write another one, and I should run another one. And at this stage, I'm now starting a new course every 3 weeks. So every 3 weeks, there's an opportunity for you to join a course, a group of 10 other people from around the world. Many people think that to write a book, you need to go off to a log cabin somewhere and lose yourself for 6 months. Yeah. It's actually the worst way to write a book. Yeah. The most powerful way to write a book, like anything else you want to achieve in life, is always in relationships and in community. And as you were describing, Carl, very quickly, your course cohort actually becomes a community. And I create an environment that I call high support and high challenge. So this is a cohort of people who are on the same journey as writing a book as you, but you're totally committed to helping one another and encouraging one another and supporting one another on this same journey. And because of that support and that encouragement, actually, it also gives you license to challenge one another and hold one another to account. So if you say you're going to write 5,000 words by this date, you look pretty foolish if you turn up to the next session and you've not done it. So just that kind of commitment to do certain things by certain times actually is part of the power and the effectiveness of the coaching process that I take people through.
But they are realistic goals. You mentioned 5,000 words there. You're not telling anyone to do something that's not possible, or it's going to cause a divorce in their marriage or anything. You're telling people to do something that's achievable, and won't remove them too far from their everyday life, isn't it?
Sure. I literally hold your hand through the whole process.
Yeah.
At every stage, provide the next step. And they're little steps. We break writing a book down into bite-sized chunks, because it's a little bit like eating an elephant. You can't eat it in one gulp. You need to, if you're going to eat an elephant, you eat it in bite-sized chunks. It's exactly the same with a book. I mean, a book may seem daunting and overwhelming. 5,000 words may seem daunting and overwhelming, but I help the people I coach to break their book down into bite-sized chunks that are very achievable, very doable. It's very powerful. And then at the end of the course, I present 3 different publishing pathways, as I call them. You can try and get your book published by a traditional publisher. Increasingly, they're asking first-time authors to pay for the first 1,000 books to cover their print run. Yeah. You can self-publish, but how many books have you seen that are self-published that are really second rate, and you know immediately from the moment you pick it up, this is a self-published book because the quality is so poor. So what Publish You has done is created a hybrid pathway. And by the way, if you go to the traditional publisher, it'll be 14 months from submitting your manuscript to seeing the book on the shelf.
Yeah.
With self-publishing, if you can do it within 6 months, you've done very well. Publish You costs a fraction of the price, and we turn your book around within 3 months. From submission of completed manuscript, according to our specification, through to publication is 3 months. And it's not just published in one country, but it's published globally.
There you go. And, you know, that's really important. And, you know, I know from my own experience, you mentioned self-publishing. Rebecca and I have published a book through a traditional publisher. I published my own first book through a traditional publisher in the days when they used to give you an advance. So they paid me to write. And I mean, those days are long gone now, unless you're famous.
Yeah.
And then the second route, you gotta know your designer, find a designer, you know, then the designer has to go to a particular format, then you got to get it printed, then the stuff is sent to you, then you do your own fulfillment. Nightmare, unless you know what you're doing. So I think, you know, even though you're learning as you go, so to speak, as a business, you're absolutely making course corrections to find the best way to get the final book out to the wider world. And, you know, what the last thing that you said there, because you're using the Amazon platform to digitally print, you know, somebody in Australia can order that and it's printed in Australia by Amazon.
Yeah.
Now, when we've done self-publishing, and I've got a whole stack of stock here, you know, we've done very well out of that, but the market is changing now. When we've done that and somebody wanted to order something from Australia for us, there was like a 20 quid sending charge for shipping. So whereas Amazon Prime users in Australia could get the shipping for free, no brainer, isn't it? So as we wrap up, Matt, firstly, I want to say thank you. Thank you for doing this, because I think there's going to be a lot of people out there who benefit from this. And then again, as we finish off, I'll give you the last words, Matt, but as we finish off, don't hesitate. You know, one of the biggest issues with book writing is you've got an idea, you've sat on it, you've thought about it, you've dreamt about it, you've talked about it, but you've not done anything about it in a practical sense. Now is the time to do that. So Matt, round us off. How do people get in touch and all of that? And I'll say hi and bye in a sec.
Well, would love you guys to visit the Publish You website, which is simply publish.u.com. Publish.u.com. And you're welcome, if you want to WhatsApp me on my number 07 444 111 222. 07 444 111 222. Send me a WhatsApp. I'll be delighted to be in contact with you and have a conversation.
Brilliant. Thanks, Matt. And listen, go, if you've got a book idea in you, go and sort it out, sign up. You may be part of the next cohort. Thank you.